Welcome everyone to Lights Out Ranked, this new show. We're going to rank the MCU Phase 4 films, not the TV shows, just the films. Welcome everyone. Hope you can hear me. This music might be a little too loud. I'll turn it down though. Welcome everyone. I'm here. Sorry. Oh gosh, it looks so weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm here. We're all here. Just a few of us. Yeah. Yeah, music is super loud. But yeah, I'm going to turn it down. Don't worry. Sometimes my microphone doesn't work good enough. But yeah, thanks. Welcome everybody here. We're going to go to Ranked. We're going to rank some stuff. And I got a couple guests that's going to be here with me. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them on screen now. Because we are going to rank the MCU Phase 4 films. And I'll explain how I'm going to go after I get everybody here. So, introducing to the screen. He is the leader and runner and owner of Wrestling with Trivia, a show about trivia, a show about shows. And he does all kinds of stuff. I just can't remember them all. It's JPO, Jordan Pierce Owens.
Don't feel bad. I forget about half the things I do too. I gotta keep notes on my phone, and no, super excited to be here, man. Love the MCU. I think I've seen all of them in theaters, because I'm trying to jump out to them as soon as they come out. So excited to see this rank of definitely not my favorite phase, but there's still some good stuff in here.
And that's the thing with me too. It was not my favorite phase, but I decided to give some rewatches, and I've been watching it, a lot of it, and I was like, you know what? I think I can rank these things. So. We're going to get our second guest here. We may have a third come if he decides to join us. If not, it's okay. He'll be here next week when we do the Disney Plus shows. But for now, I'd like to welcome to Lights Out. He will be actually in the next Lights Out trivia match. He is Chris Diaz. Welcome.
Hello. Happy to be here. Talk about kind of my two movies that I love and the rest kind of fall in the middle of bottom. So yeah, here to have fun.
Indeed. There's a lot of the MCU Phase 4 that people they're just like, man, I don't like it. I don't know. See what happens when we split the streaming TV shows away from the movies. I mean, it's anything could happen. So today we will rank them. What I'm going to do is I have ranked them on my own scale that derives from points given based on 6 unique categories, which are storytelling, action / visuals, characters, the ending / post credits, the MCU Impact, that's like how it impacts the whole MCU, and rewatchability. Obviously, that's if you can watch it again and have some fun.
I have a question about that. Are we allowed to use one of them, both versions? Because I've seen the extended edition and the regular version of one of them.
You could do whatever you want, however you want to rank it. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my lowest and start, and we're going to just sit and talk about it. If you guys agree with me, tell me that you agree, and we'll talk even more about it. If you disagree, then tell me what your rank would be, and then we'll discuss that too. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. All right. So, basically, what I have done is I took each category and I gave either 1 to 5 points for each of those categories based on my decision. I added all of those points up. Then I have a final score. And with that final score, I ranked them from 1 to 7. There are 7 films in Phase 4. And we will go through them all. So I'm going to start with the lowest ranking one. We'll save the best for last. So... So my number 7 in this one, I do not necessarily. Now here's the thing, like I don't necessarily hate this movie. I think it's an okay movie. It's just it's got a lot. When it comes to MCU, you guys know how it goes. It's a lot to live up to. There's some high standards, and for this specifically, it kind of just fell pretty short. So I'm going to go ahead and say number 7 with 12 points total is Eternals. Eternals. So basically, oh gosh, I look weird. Okay. So I'll go through my points on this. So
you look weird, but you also look good. Are you working out, JB3?
I wish.
I'm just saying, man, you look swollen in a good way, though.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I have not been working out. Maybe my fat is getting shaped right. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. Hey, I've been watching the MCU movies, so maybe that helps.
Try to get your Hemsworth going. I feel you.
Yeah, gotta get the Hemsworth going. So maybe this movie could have done some of that. But so with this movie, I gave it, for the storytelling, I gave this a 2. I did not necessarily like the storytelling in this movie. It wasn't my favorite when it came to storytelling. I just felt like it fell flat. Actually, before I go any further, do you guys agree with this or do you disagree?
This is a hard agree for me. Yeah, I always say like this: if I had to get my Ebert and Roper on, like thumbs up, thumbs down, I sadly feel like this is the only MCU I would have to go maybe down on. I don't hate it, which again, in a weird way, is kind of props to the MCU that there's nothing that I hate, but this is just one that, I thought it was kind of cold for me, man. They tried throwing a lot of new characters at. I'm not necessarily in love with any of them. You know what I mean? I like some people here, Kumail Nanjiani, Brian Tyree Henry, but just the story didn't really grab me here. I don't think it's one of the league's funniest ones. Not that it necessarily needs to be super funny, but this is one that I was very, very lukewarm, more than almost any other MCU movie I've seen yet.
Definitely, Chris. How do you feel about it? Did this match up with your lowest ranking film in the Phase 4?
It's between this and another film for my lowest, because I think.
Make your decision. Which one?
Because I do think there's stuff that I do like. I like the Ivy Henry aspect of it, especially with the his past, and you get more like the flashbacks. So it kind of very coming out like the dynamic with him and the kid thing. I thought that was something. Some stuff I do like about it. There's some stuff that made me laugh, but there's some stuff that pissed me off. Richard Madsen and Kit Harington were raced into this film so badly. Same with Selma Hayek. Like, even though she does give a decent performance in this film. But,
I will say, there was some good acting, which goes there. But like JPO said, for characters, it was a miss for me. I gave it 2 points there. The only thing that actually really scored was the action / visuals. I thought, it had some good visuals. It had some good fighting, which, to be honest, if you're an MCU film, you should probably kind of do that anyway. But go ahead.
And not my really favorite Phase 4. I had to think about that hard. There's the one that really pissed me off a little bit more than this. Why?
You guys need an anger counselor. MCU pisses you off, man. There's worse things in life.
But the action and stuff was good, but the characters, and then the ending for me, it was okay. I scored it low for the ending too, but the only reason, because spoilers if anybody hasn't seen this movie, the ending with the Taimont, or I can't pronounce, I don't know how to say it. And then the big celestial at the end, like, it gave it some significance a little bit, but I thought the post-credit scene was just a miss. And the MCU Impact as a whole, I feel like this movie did not impact the MCU at all.
Hold on.
No, maybe later, because I'm looking at connectability.
Yeah.
I don't see it connecting to anything. I know it's an origin. I didn't see it connecting to anything from the past. Maybe in the future, time will tell. But as far as Phase 4 goes, it's just a complete miss for me. And a rewatchability, I can't watch it anymore.
Hold on, Avi. What post-credit scene are you talking about? I gave you the Harry Styles one. I cannot give you the Blade, voice thing.
But it also hasn't. It still has yet to pay off too. I think it's kind of what JB3 is saying. Like, maybe in the future Blade will pay off. Well, we've got an entire phase now that hasn't.
At that moment, like, just hearing
that was probably the only bright spot with the ending for me is maybe the Blade, which I think that you would have to be a fan of Blade to know it was Blade, because it was just his head. Yeah.
I would give you hairstyle. I think Harry Styles is the off actor. Not looking forward to seeing him more in MCU because
I don't think he's a horrible actor. I just don't know the character. I don't care about the character.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of where I'm getting at there
not
too.
want to see him. Joey Dolly made me not want to see him in any movies anymore. So let's see.
And also, in retrospect too, like I haven't heard any movement on that character, which again makes me feel like it's just them just throwing random shit at us, you know.
No, for sure. And it was just a miss. So much so that I kind of want to move on to the next one. So, and now Diaz, if we reach to the one that you don't like less than that one, you know, that's fair. You know, and some of these might be a little controversial for some people. You might not agree with me, but you know, it happens. But if you get to if you could just tell me where would you rank Eternals on 1 through 7? Where would you rank Eternals?
Okay, I would rank it 6 for me.
6. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. And that's the. I mean, it's just not that good to me, and I guess to a lot of other people too. All right, but moving on, we're gonna go to the number 6, and for me, this wasn't much better. And it's kind of sad because I really have high expectations for this movie. I was excited for this movie, and when it came out and I watched it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent, but there was just too much miss for me. And my number 6 with 13 points, Thor: Love and Thunder.
That name number 7 right there.
Okay, so that says number 7. JPO, what would you say about this? Is this low on your list?
It's low, not as low as this though. Actually, I do have one lower than this that did less for me.
Okay, that's fair. So, story 2, action visuals 3. They're just, it was a little bit too much. Maybe I could have pushed it to a 4, but it wasn't. Characters 2. Now, I love Korg, but this right here, I wasn't. Omnipotent City was not a fan too much of any of that. I just thought it was good. The ending was okay. I gave it a 3. Again, MCU Impact. I feel like when it comes to Phase 4 alone, I feel like this did not connect or even come close to connecting at all to any Phase 4 movie in the MCU. It was completely separated. Like I just don't see a connecting point. So, and then the rewatchability, I give it a 2. I could probably watch it again. It's just not anything that I'd be like, oh man, and the reason, so Ragnarok was one of my favorite movies of all time. That's why I was like really disappointed about this. I could watch Ragnarok 50 times over. I love it. Everything about it I just loved. But for some reason, this right here, Love and Thunder, just it did not work. So Diaz, what do you think about this? Is your number 7? So.
Let me get the positive out of the way. Bale is the best thing about this movie. He is doing his best to save this movie from being bad. He actually is a good villain in this movie. I think the post-credit scenes were good. Like I would say that one of my highlights. I like both post-credit scenes a lot, with the introduction of the guy from Ted Lasso as Hercules, and then Idris Elba showing off welcoming Natalie Portman to Valhalla. Some of a nice conclusion to that story. I think Portman is actually giving a decent performance in the movie. Her storyline is emotional. You do feel for her, and I like their relationship much better in this than I do in the other movies. Oh my God, have I never wanted a character to be cut out in movie sadly. Like, he was so unnecessary in the movie. He really get annoying at the right. I like the deleted scene better than the stuff in the movie. Like, I think there's some really good deleted scenes with him. Especially if they talk about the Thunderbolt. Like, that deleted scene is really good.
I need to watch those.
Like, they get him more dynamic to his character, but the way they race down the galaxy in the first 10 minutes of the movie, what really pissed me off the most, and like that whole like they made them a joke, but like these characters you go to like and they just don't use it. I'm with Steph. I really worse than the other stuff. Like, just the more I think about it, the more I get more pissed off than I do with Eternal, just because how much they ruined some characters for me. And Tessa Thompson was just there.
I think that might be why I have it a little higher because I think you're both right in the fact that this is a huge disappointment coming off Ragnarok. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Eternals did less for me, but I could see why maybe in your heart you're like, nah, this hurts me more.
I thought like Bell the only good thing I like really love about the movie is like you feel for his character. Like the third best villain from this phase, I will say, counting the Disney Plus stuff. But like
So the
but
third
yeah,
best villain in this phase, that's not really a big compliment.
yeah.
Top 3 of 7 in
Yeah.
this
It's not-
particular
if
list.
you're not counting Disney Plus, then he did it. Like, but he is a really good villain. I did like the daughter scene at the end. Like, I like the last scene with daughter and Sora a lot. Like, I thought it was funny, it's cute. It's just the humor with him. It's Detective Creativity I don't love. Like, I love his other movie, but this is my least favorite Detective Creativity movie. His directing so far. Like,
Right. So JPO, why? So you started to get into. It's not you didn't have it this low on the list. So
I
give me
I
some of
got
the
it one
positive
slot
points.
higher. Yeah. I got it one slot higher than you guys. I got a number 5 of 7. Kind of going off like what you said, JB3. I love Ragnarok, and that's why like this. I think this is as low because it's also a big disappointment here. I think unfortunately Taika Waititi doubled down too much more on the last sphere and tried to throw in the goats and more Korg, and it just doesn't totally work. Christian Bale's good, even that's a bit of a disappointment though. Great first scene, great last scene. I think some of his stuff is underdeveloped in the middle here, even for Christian Bale. He does what he can in the other scenes. Yeah, and I just don't think it was even the funny stuff. I don't think is as funny as Ragnarok here. It's not the most competent storytelling here. That's why if we do get a fifth Thor, I kind of want to maybe see it in different hands. Unfortunately, which sucks because coming off of Ragnarok, I was like, hell yeah, Taika Waititi, let him direct everything. And now it's like, maybe not. I think this one, maybe he just had less people giving him notes, and he got to do exactly what he wanted, or who knows, man. But I do find it more watchable than like Eternals. If you ask me which one you want to watch, I would definitely throw this on first. It's kind of the reason why it's a little higher than Eternals. So, like I said, it's all right. I've tried twice. The second viewing really wasn't any higher than the first viewing from this one.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday, and I was like, I can agree with what Dia says about like Bale and Gore. Even though like spoilers again, like it kind of all just kind of turned at the end, which I think has happened. I could say it happened enough. I don't know. Maybe it can happen more it's a new phase, but yeah, all in all, Thor: Love and Thunder lower on the list. I'm curious if my number 5 is going to be your number 6, and I'm going to see if my number 5 matches up with Diaz's number 5 is my number 5, and this is another disappointment for me and I feel like a lot of this isn't the movie's fault. I felt like this movie came out later than it should, and I think a lot of people know why. We have COVID that came out, that was a problem, and there was a lot of difficulties with it not getting in theaters or getting in theaters and getting on Disney Plus. So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, with 15 points, my number 5 is Black Widow.
With the hints, we figured it
out. Yes, and for me, I love Black Widow. I love Black Widow, but I'm going to start with this quote that I made for myself when it comes to was, I have much more satisfaction watching Black Widow in all the other movies that she's been in versus watching her in her own movie. I thought the story, I gave it a 3. It's middle of the pack. The action and the visuals, middle of the pack. The characters, middle of the pack. And I say that because Yelena, I love.
Yeah, me, I have a disagreement with that.
Yeah, but I was not too much of a fan of Red Guardian. I wasn't too much a fan of not into Taskmaster.
I'm actually agree. Red Guardian, you me to have discussed
it. and I maybe Red Guardian could do more later. I think he's going to be in Thunderbolts. I think I don't remember. I don't know. Probably. As far as the post credits and the ending, like I feel like it was okay. In the connectability, the MCU Impact. So it did fill in the gap. Like, oh, what was she doing during this time? That was the case. But as far as the overall Phase 4 impact, the only impact it really had so far, like I said, there could be characters, Thunderbolts and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think is
Okay.
Elena and Valentina. It's like there's certain characters in Phase 4 that connect together the movies. Valentina's one of them. The other one we'll talk about later. I'm sure you know. Love this
Mm-hmm.
character. But in the rewatchability, I still haven't watched it more than twice, and I feel like it really like I feel like it's for me if it came out in 2019, if it came out like at the beginning of Phase 3, I think it would have probably held better for me. But because I mean, we knew her fate, we knew everything that went down. Like she got her solo movie, but it just was a little bit too late. JPO, where did you rank Black Widow? And was it your number 6?
This one's definitely my number 6 here, Black Widow. The last thing you said, I'll even double on that, man. That's kind of one of my initial problems just from the get go before you even start the movie is too little, too late. You know what I mean? I wanted a Black Widow spinoff because I love ScarJo. You hadn't really given a female a big action movie in the MCU. All that's good, but again, like we saw the end. Now you're kind of going back, and to me, that does take out part of the fun. You know what I mean? You're already kind of you know how it ends. So like I don't really know if I needed this spoon fed like middle chapter of stuff that we already know what's up. And then even on top of that here too, well, the reason I'll have it like less than like Thor is even because like again, the villains or whatever. The one female villain who's hiding under the mask is kind of underdeveloped here, and like you find, yeah, you kind of do want to see what's his Winsong and his comeuppance, but it's not as juicy as Christian Bale performance here. And it felt just kind of like it felt a little more cliche too, where like you got some fun, other fun characters. Your David Harbour is good, but it's a little cliched. And yeah, this is one that, again, just it's good. I don't want to undersell it to a degree either. Like we're definitely even
Right.
from Thor, we're in the positive aspect now. We're in the 3-star territory, thumbs up territory. But like again, I just felt like kind of by the numbers. You know what I mean? Like we've seen it done, but we've seen it done better. Kind of thing.
Indeed. Where did you rank this, Chris? Did you agree with it? Was it number 5 for you, or did you have
It
this higher?
Michael Rewapper is number 5. I think I disagree with David Harbour, but you guys, I think the stuff I love about the movie is the family dynamic with David Harbour, Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, and Scarlett Johansson. Like that, those are my favorite scenes in the movie. I like the family dinner scene, they all just sitting together talking. Or even the scene later on with Florence Pugh and David Harbour in the bedroom, actually, a really fun, touching scene, especially when he starts repeating the American Pie song. And it's just like those are the characters. I think the character dynamic with them really worked well. I can't wait to see them more in the movie. I can't wait to see David Harbour again and Thunderbolt. Or they bring back Rachel Weisz in the future. Because I did like her character, the dynamic she is in. The humor to me worked better in Dead than in So Love It's Under and Internal. It's like there are a lot of good funny moments here and there. And I think who put not Tatman, who played the other villain? Was it Ray Stevenson or Ray Winstone? Who am I thinking of?
Winstone.
Winstone. He gave you a cliche performance, but he a bit more threatening a little bit. Like I like the way Scarlett Johansson like smashing his nose against the desk moment. Like that whole thing. Like the action I think actually is good as well. I think the final set piece is really good action sequence. I think the opening is great opening to the movie. I think they're a lot more positive than you get it. Taskmaster is awful. As someone who loved the comic and who loved the video game, they ruined Taskmaster so badly in this. Like Taskmaster like MODOK. I don't think it could translate well on screen. Same problem I had with Ant-Man, like neck fade with MODOK and everything.
Hey, leave MODOK alone.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like.
like I say, the family dynamic, I think the acting is, for the most part, is really good. I think even though it's too late, Colin Transit does give a good performance in it. And it William Hurt's last appearance and Thunderbolt Lost before he sadly passed away this past year. So it was nice to see him one last time. So yeah, it's middle of the pack, but I'm more positive on it than you guys are a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. And like JPO was saying, we are getting into the thumbs up areas. It's not like they're bad, completely. It's just that they're just falling a little in the middle of the pack.
I
Speaking of the
will
middle of
take
the pack,
I will take the dinner scene over anything so Love It Thunder. Like that dinner scene with they just sitting down having a family dinner. Like easily the best scene.
and it was a good point that you brought up. The family aspect thing was nice. I did enjoy that as well. This next one for me, middle of the pack, this could piss some people off, but for me personally, and this is more going towards the positive side. It's number 4 on the ranking, so it's right in the middle as far as out of 7. Uh, again, a lot of the real life situations that happen uh, affected this movie, and it's
Oh
not really
no.
anyone's fault. So there's certain aspects of it that had to be changed, and like when that happens, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But for my number 4 movie, and for 18 points, which 18 points, it was. This is a good movie. Now I can. This is an actual good movie in my opinion, but it's just not. It ranks number 4 with 18 points. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. So here, I'll explain myself in this. So I thought the story was fine. And unfortunately, the whole story basically had to be changed. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Um, I thought they handled. I thought they handled it well. I thought they handled it really well with how they got the story. Because for one, with Shuri and her development throughout the movie, it was a good starting point for her dealing with what she had to deal with, and I think that it went through the movie. I thought the action and the visuals were fantastic. I will say that. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, in the characters, there was good characters. I wasn't necessarily. I'll say this. I wasn't completely sold on Namor. Namor,
Oh.
not bad by any means.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't completely sold. M'Baku, love. I was a little bit underwhelmed with Ironheart. I was a little bit, just a little
Maybe.
bit. Yeah, Riri. I was a little bit underwhelmed with the Midnight Angel, even though I'm excited for them. However, like for just this movie, it was a tight bit underwhelming for me. I thought the ending was good. I did like the ending. It was touching, very touching, especially the post credit scene. Well, not the one with Namor, but the one with in Haiti. Haiti. Um, the impact for the MCU, I thought it had a decent impact overall in the MCU. This is the one movie I would say that I don't necessarily see it connecting too much, except Valentina was in it, which that helps. Again, a key character for
We get
connecting
that.
everything in Phase 4. Right. So not that I think that Namor, however you want to pronounce it, they pronounce it differently. I think it will have. I think I should have more later, but as far as Phase 4, he just introduced a new villain. Again, a villain. Spoilers, kind of like not so much at the end, right? But the post-credit scene kind of confirmed it. We're going to use them, to still do what we want to do. So it's still up in the air. Rewatchability for me personally. I can watch it, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, ooh, let me watch this again. Chris, you might have disagreed with me here a little bit. I want to know your thoughts. You start. I got you in my ear. I'm going to go get my root beer from the freezer before it freezes. So
This is not my number 4. This is actually in my number 3. Probably you have 3 and 4 split. Yeah, interchangeable.
Right.
I actually like this film a lot. I haven't seen it since theater, but I remember like that the ending of it just getting to me emotionally. Like that post credit scene, is powerful. I think my only negative, I think Valentina, it was not necessary. I think Monster Theme and stuff could have been cut out. Maybe you still have a great way along. I think Nemo was really good. I think we does it deserve a lot of hate. I got there. I think there's stuff I like about it. There's a couple jokes that made me laugh. I think the action sequence is really good. I think what they David Shuri and the whole like revenge aspect, revenge over grief. I think was really well done. Angela Bassett, amazing performance. I think that what rides up on my number 4 on my list. Is how good the acting are for all across the board. Namor great, Levy great, and Bassett, Shuri, everybody giving top-notch performance. It's a plot predictable, yes. That is didn't need to be almost 3 hours long. No. But is it a fun movie? Is it a good standout to Chadwick Boseman? And does it leave me hopeful future? Yeah. I like that. That's the only setup I like with, if we ever get Young Avengers so far, the only setup I like so far with Chadwick Boseman's kid, being introduced at the end. I think that is beautiful way to end the film. I think Namor is a really good villain. I don't get to hate for Namor for some of my friends. I think he was threatening, I think. Kind of similar to Killmonger, you understand where he's coming from. But yeah, this is my number 3. We do get to my number 4 if that's on your list.
It's a good chance it could be. There's a lot of. Now I wasn't hating on Riri. I liked Riri. It's just that it wasn't.
I'll hate.
Maybe there was. I'll say I liked Riri better than I liked Ironheart.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Okay, maybe, yeah, because I'm probably agree with that now that you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So JPO, you go ahead and tell me your thoughts on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
As far as rankings go, I will go with Chris as well. This is a notch above. It's my number 3. The good is really good here. I think they handled how they could Black Panther as best as they could. I give Letitia Wright a hell of a performance here. Whether I agree with her in real life a lot, I don't know. But in performance-wise there, she's, I think, killing it. And that is the best part of this here, is they handle that emotion very well. This is a very emotional movie. Several times they're trying to get you. And I think it works. Angela Bassett also fantastic in this here. As well as we mentioned the post-credit scene where you find out what happened with Lupita Nyong'o's character and whatnot. So that all works really well here. I'll hate a little bit on Riri Ironheart. I feel like she's right in that same vein as the Martin Freeman and the Julia Louis-Dreyfus characters. They felt like they're there just to kind of set up future shit. You really could cut out Ironheart and this movie would be completely fine. Maybe make it less than 2 hours and 45 minutes if you cut out a character like that. That whole segue where they go to find her and like it's all good, but it's just unnecessary. I felt. You know what I mean? I just didn't feel like this necessarily lent to the core story. It's just, hey, let's get another fun character so we get another fun, spinoff sooner or later.
But I will say that she had an impact with the plot of the movie because, you had to have that whole plot device situation going on,
There's other ways around it, though, that could have taken not, an entire 45-minute detour, and you know what I mean?
Martin Freeman and Valentina had no impact on the plot whatsoever. It's like their stuff with Martin.
Yeah, but even this felt overly long just to introduce a new fun, character. And look, we got a new suit. Of course, this girl has a suit. Everyone just knows how to make suits now. Like, I don't know. Namor, I'm in the middle on. I definitely don't at all, but it's a mid-tier kind of villain for me here. That's the way it just kind of ends to a degree. So again, I think the good does outweigh the bad here. But yeah, it's solidly at my number 3 at the end of the day.
Also, our first technically introduced to mutants because anybody who didn't watch it's Marvel did for a lot of people introduced into the word mutant in the MCU.
Oh, we're about to get to some mutant. Well, check this. I do want to give a shout out. Angela Bassett, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if TJ went best supporting actress. I would not give her the Oscar on Sunday, but she's great performance.
Yeah, I will say that it was a unbelievable, great performance, and I think that was needed for this movie. But I'm curious now if my number 3 is going to match up with y'all's number 4. It could. So I gave my number 3 20 points total. There is not too much. Like I said, it could have been interchangeable in a sense, but for my point breakdown, this got a couple points more. For me personally, I could watch this movie more just because there's the big kind of, I want to say that this is the real introduction of mutants in the MCU, even if it was in a different universe, because my number 3 with 20 points is Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
in the
that is not my number 4.
It's not your number 4, or it is?
No, it is my number 4.
Okay, it is your number 4. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I will say first off, I enjoyed this more my second and third watch through than I did my first. There was a lot going on here. I'll say the story to me was a little bit on the middle side. I gave it 3 points there. I'm not going to sit there and say this story was fantastic. I think that there was more going on for the whole film in general than just a good story. The visuals and the action was high for me. The characters, it was okay. I did like America. The ending and the post credits was fun. It was fun. Let's. It's kind of weird. Like, let's slice the universe wide open and just jump to the dark dimension real quick. But hey, I have my own theories. It could be a whole nother video when it comes to the third eye. I think I have a different theory about what most people think. Most people think that the Darkhold did it. I don't think the Darkhold did it. I think the overcoming of the Darkhold, and it made the eye earn. However, as far as overall impact in the MCU, this movie is the other character that's involved, which he should be in this movie anyway. But the other character that is all over Phase 4 is Wong. I love Wong. Wong is amazing. I'm hoping everybody loves Wong.
Yeah, I love Wong.
And rewatchability, I can watch this movie probably again and again. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna go to all the time, but for sure, if I see it suggested in the Disney Plus box now, I'll be like, ooh, let's watch it. And I got time, I probably will. But there was a lot going on in this movie. There was a lot of multiverses and I know they spent most of the time in 838, and then now people are having theories that other movies probably took place in 838. That's going to be a whole thing. The multiverse isn't for everybody, but I thought they handled it pretty well. JPO, what did you rank Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
I'm again with Diaz. We're spot on here. This is my number 4 here. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I think it's more good to be had than bad for sure here. America's fine. I kind of felt like she's a little cliched. I didn't feel like, other than like some quick one-liners, we got to totally know her and like the backstory. So I think she's all right. But it's a fun little journey we go on here, man. I enjoyed Sam Raimi's take on it here. Of course, dosing in a little bit of horror, even the zombie Doctor Strange. I would say Doctor Who. I always say Doctor Who. Doctor Strange. So yeah, like it's fun, man. Wong's fun. Good scene, even on the Tilda Swinton again popping up, and yeah. So like again, I think there's more good to be had. You got the big Easter eggs of like, holy shit, it's Matt Stu, it's fucking Krasinski. Like that's a fun little theater moment here. You know what I mean?
On.
Yeah, and like even though it's kind of off screen sometimes too, like the fact that like was it Scarlet Witch is like murdering them too was kind of an interesting take. I didn't necessarily see them doing that. So and Olsen's really good too. She's been kind of killing it here. So there's some takes and some stuff that I think is kind of mid and like just kind of like all right. And like again, I don't know if it's one I'll enjoy rewatching it, but it's not going to be like a big rewatcher. Like, like maybe once every so often, but it's not one that I'm going to definitely like pop it a lot. But yeah, I do like this one here.
Yeah, Diaz, what do you got for this?
Let me emphasize this. If WandaVision did not happen, I think I'd be a bit more positive, like more high on this movie than I have. I think everything had to happen in WandaVision get thrown out in this movie. Like, the whole,
that does bug me too. It's like, oh, she didn't learn shit. Okay.
Yeah, that whole like she's always the evil person wants to kill everybody. Like, don't one of it did not mean anything to this. And like, I think Ocean gave a phenomenal performance. I think he top tier. My top 3 best performance from this phase. Like, they did like top 10 best performance. I think she is giving one of the best performances this phase. I think Cumberbatch giving a really good performance. I think Rachel McAdams does give a great performance. I think that's by far the best use. I like the relationship between her and Strange a lot and that whole idea of trying to make a man that's regretting decision you make. I like that idea of what they were doing. But I think the Professor S scene does bug me a little bit that they bring him back then, so like him off and such like snap his neck like right. Even though I love they reference his line for Day Future Past, I love the way they use that line. I thought that was a beautiful moment. I think Transcendency was good. I like probably my favorite badass line in the film when you're like, "Do you have kids?" Yes. Then they have a mother right before she kills John Transcendency. Like that's such a creepy line in film. Only movie I will say I ever seen somebody walk out of and never came back because I had one person in my theater walk out right before the big council reveal and never came back into the theater. Like
That's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, I will
because
say. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, but overall it's really good. I think the acting is great. I think visually it's great. Sam Raimi does a great job. The music is great. I think the character stuff, especially with Wanda, where it hurt a little bit that become WandaVision. But I think her acting saved the character hurt. She is the best thing
Yeah,
about it.
she did
Yeah.
really, really good. Acting chops there was great.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I will have to just give a shout out. One of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen in a movie, in an MCU film, I should say, is what is his name? Black Bolt.
Oh yeah.
That was just wild to me, especially
How did it
now.
not get? How did it not get all way there? Like watching it that moment, like what?
I know it
I
was
want to see
pretty
the
brutal.
unrated version so badly now. Just to see if Sam Raimi had the R-rated version that we don't get.
Man, too bad we won't be able to see that. But yeah, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I did think that it had a lot of MCU impact. I thought that it did connect very well with the grand scale of things. And the reason I say that is just because of the multiverses. I think that was huge. And I think more of that we'll get into next week when we talk about some of the Disney series, Disney Plus series that came out. But yeah, Doctor Strange, Multiverse in the Madness of Multiverses. Number 3. Now this is the top 2. Now there's only 2 films left, and I know that for some people this could go back and forth. The next 2 are very close for me personally. So number 2, now this scored 24 points for my number 2 spot, and I mean, the story was fantastic. I gave this a 5 points in action and visuals because the action and visuals in this was unbelievable. Characters was up there for me. The ending was amazing. I even loved the post-credit scenes. The impact of the MCU, I called it mid because, like you said, a lot of things still up in the air, it could connect later more, but it didn't really connect too well. But it did have significant impact as far as what they presented to the viewers. And rewatchability, I could watch this over and over again. My number 2, which was almost I thought it might have been my number 1, but for 24 points, taking the number 2 spot, Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. This to me was, oh my goodness, what a good film. Not only do we get an origin story that is so amazing, nothing like the Eternals, no hard feelings, I guess, but like this right here, I mean, you're introducing a character that is, he has depth, and then it's talking about action visuals. I mean, you got fighting scenes, you got visually stunning, especially the climax, the third act. It was just unbelievably stunning when it comes to visuals and action. You got characters, you got Shang-Chi, you got Katie, who is absolutely amazing. You got the sister. I loved her too. The father, his father was like, talk about now another cliche with the whole, I'm a villain, psych, but he did. It has such an impact. I mean, you go on this journey with Shang-Chi and you see how he was raised to be this ruthless killer. And then this whole time you think, oh, he didn't do it. He didn't make this choice. And then it turns out, oh, wait, yeah, he did. And now he's, going to be just like his dad. And then he goes to the other land, the other universe, evidently, which is a whole theory, like gold mine for people to have. And just everything about this movie, everything about the characters, I can't get enough. I could watch this over and over and over and over again. And even a shout out to the guy with the arm. Like, he was cool too. Like, like I'm talking, I absolutely fantastically just loved this movie so much. And it fixed issues that they brought up in Iron Man 3.
Richard Drago from
totally just go ahead and just throw that. I was like, they were scared of an orange. Funny. Yeah, I could go on talking about this movie. Chris, what do you think about this movie? I seen you clapping. I'm assuming that you agree with me. This is your number 2 pick as well.
Yeah. Any other day that my number 1 and my number 2 to switch any day, because I saw this and my number 1 are the only 2 movies in Phase 4 I saw twice, and that's because I just loved it so much. I love this film. Here, hot take. Thanos is my second favorite MCU villain. How do you say his name in Shang-Chi?
I don't even know.
He is my favorite MCU villain. I think he is someone that is despicable. He is someone that, is vicious, but you understand his motivation and you love the dynamic between him and Shang-Chi. Like, he is such a great all-around villain. Kind of anti-hero at the same time a little bit.
Yeah.
In phone language. There we go. But amazing, amazing performance for him. I think he is top tier MCU villain to me. Ben Kingsley taking a character that I like in Iron Man 3 and freaking love him in this movie, playing his character again and giving a great amazing. Everybody doing a job. Love the script to this. Solid script with dialogue, especially with the dad and Shang-Chi.
Man,
this is I love this film. At me any other day, this could be my number 1 in Phase 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, interchangeable. I do want to say, and real quick, I thought the comedy was at the perfect level for me. Because I would go out and say okay, the arrow shooting the monsters, really, dude, but it got she's the perfect character to be yeah, evidently learned how to do that in a day.
Yeah, my favorite joke when he playing dead and telling Murray to play dead.
That was great.
And also the action sequences, some of the best action sequences in any MCU movie, the opening scene along with the dad and the mom just fighting. I think it's one of the most stunning moments I saw in theater. And the bus
fight on the bus was one of my favorites ever in the MCU. JPO, I'm curious about your thoughts. What did you think about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings?
Yeah, unfortunately for any fans watching, if you're looking for controversy or fights in these last 2, you're not going to get it because I'm with you guys 100% here, man. This is a really solid flick, really solid. So this, unlike some of the others we mentioned, surpassed expectations. Going in, I don't really know much. Actually, I probably knew about 0 of Shang-Chi, other than what we had saw in the trailer. It's not a character I know of, so that might have even added to my love of it because I love everything about it here. You mentioned, I think it is kind of sweetly, perfectly balanced here. There are definitely LOL moments here. Zach Cherry on the bus filming it, you know what I mean, and in the arrow and everything. But then at the same time here, man, that relationship. First, and Chris mentioned the scene with the mom and the dad is fantastic. That ending with the dad and him, that final kind of fight. Unlike everything else here, man, even going back to let's say Gore, just as an example here, Christian Bale, one of the greatest actors going. No one here, I think, is really oh man, I wonder what's gonna happen. No, we probably all were he'll probably see the error of his ways, probably died, we'll never see him again. this is a fight and like an ending sequence that I'm literally like, I'm interested. Like I'm truly like wondering how they're gonna maybe wrap this up and the levels that they're going to. And it's the most invested. That's the word I was looking for. The most invested I feel I was in almost any of these endings, especially of the ones that come before it, which is why this is also higher for me at my number 2 here. I also think it's a very good, unlike Wakanda Forever, where I feel like we all kind of agree, maybe people were shoehorned in. I don't feel anyone shoehorned into this. You get a little cameos, the Hulk and Captain Marvel talking real quick with the green screens and Wong's in it for a second here. But like, I feel like that they very much let the Shang-Chi movie be the Shang-Chi movie, and that worked out well for me here. I like that we don't shoehorn in him and Katie becoming a couple. I like that they're kind of just buds and they keep it that way. And I like that. It's a different kind of take on it. You know what I mean? So them like making out the end of the movie here. I enjoyed that aspect of it here. And also too, I'm excited for the sequel here. They do that job right too. With that, when you find out about the sister, you're like, oh shit, that's where they might go. Okay,
I know
it does that well. Where you're like, I'm ready to come back to this universe. I want to see more Shang-Chi and Simu Liu. I think is a lot of charisma about him. So yeah, this thing really worked more than I thought it would.
I can't wait to see what director does with King Dynasty. I had to watch it.
Yeah, and you said it, JPO. I mean, if this wasn't even in the MCU, I mean, I'd still be like, oh man, I can't wait to see the second one.
Yeah, that's the right thing.
Great. And the significance in the post credit scene with the rings and Wong saying like, oh, this isn't Shatari, this isn't vibranium, this has been longer. They existed for way longer than 1,000 years, and there's a beacon, and it's sending a message, but to who? And it's like, oh wow,
it could be either this terrestrial or I took Galactic. Well, another idea like that could be their way to bring Galactic into the universe.
There's so many options to go through, and this movie it nailed everything. I thought it just hit every mark that it needed to hit. And the close is the close, and we all know what was close. Yeah. So number 1, and I don't think this like I said, Shang-Chi could be my number 1. Like Chris said, it could interchange for me back and forth. But the number 1, which I'm sure is not a surprise, because this is one of the most anticipated films in the Phase 4 and in the MCU in general, not just because of the lead character, but also because of the villains that we knew were going to be in this. I compare this to like CM Punk returning to AEW. This is one of the worst kept secrets. Everyone knew it was going to happen, and everyone was there for it. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the highest, most successful movies in the MCU. I'm talking about the number 1 for 25 points. Spider-Man No Way Home. Amazing. I loved everything about this movie. The story was great. And to sit there and you look at a movie like this, and this movie could have been hated on. It could have been the cool thing to do to hate on this movie because they had so much going on. But the story made sense. It actually introduced the multiverse in a way where it brought them here instead of bringing us there. Like if you look at Doctor Strange, he's in the multiverse, but this brought different universes into the movie, and it was complete fan service in every sense of the word. And it was the good kind, not the bad kind. The action and the visuals, I gave this a 5. Also, the action and the visuals was just great. You got 3 Spider-Men. You got them fighting and swinging, and you got aspects from like to sit there and take a movie that came out in like 2002 and to have it make it work with Willem Dafoe in 2022. Like that's 20 years later and it still works. Characters, like I said, you had the villains, you had and here's what I want to make this point. With all the nostalgia, with all the villains and all the Spider-Men coming back, it did not take away from MJ and Ned. They still shined in this movie. They shined strong. And then Aunt May. I'm gonna cry if I talk too much about Aunt May. I
Say
thought,
quite too much every time about MJ and Ned.
right, and then I thought that the way that was handled after that scene, and I thought that on the roof, they got there and they talked him through it, and they were there for him. And I cry quite a bit in movies if they mean something to me. When he was on that roof and when MJ gave him that big hug and he just folded into her, I had tears. Like that got me strong because I was like, there was nobody else he could want to see in that time. And the scene where he was standing in the rain looking at the screen of J. Jonah Jameson that was such a good scene. I thought the ending was great. I thought the post credit scene was perfect because
We didn't talk about the post credit scene for my
yeah, it's like a reverse. It's like all these post credit scenes are supposed to connect these characters into these other upcoming movies or possibly, but it's like with Spider-Man in the MCU, he came in that way. So to see him have a post credit scene that kind of excluded him from everything and made him just be to himself and doing his own thing. I thought that was a good contrast and it was perfect. I thought the overall impact of the MCU, it had a big impact in the MCU with now Doctor Strange knows who Spider-Man is, but he doesn't know anything else. I have a theory like other people. I think Wong still knows because leave me out of this. I think that means something. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Venom.
We didn't talk about that.
We got a little piece in there, and rewatchability. I could watch this movie 1,000,000 times, and I would love every single minute of it. I'm probably gonna watch it after this now because we're talking about it so much. I'll shut up. I'm not gonna even go any further. And I'm gonna go to JPO first. Chris, I'll get to you next. But JPO, this is your number one movie in the face for MCU.
Yes. Yeah, not a big surprise here, man. I almost always feel whenever I've ranked this movie, it's almost unfair to rank this movie with others. You know what I mean? We all sang the love of Shang-Chi, but it's like this movie has an unfair advantage because they are combining our love of this, our love of all the other Spider-Mans here. They're throwing a lot at us where it's almost hard not to pick this as number one because it also balances it pretty good here. Take a guess how many millions of this made JP3 altogether in the box office.
I'm pretty sure it was like 2 billion, didn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you said anything million, you'd be wrong. It's 1 something billion. It is the number one in Phase 4 here. Doctor Strange is actually number 2 at what was it? I was just looking at 955 million. So that's number 2. And again, that's 955 million, and that's made over $1 billion, which is a lot more millions. But yeah, man, I don't have much more to add here, man. It's a great first time watch. It's a great second time watch. Like you said, maybe we should all just watch this after we get off of the air. The Spider-Man trilogy in general here with Tom Holland has been really tight. You know what I mean? There was some problems, I think, with Maguire and Garfield. We still love them. That's why I think it was really sweet to get a little bit more Garfield. He unfortunately never got to complete his trilogy here. And man, the theater reaction when they both appear for the first time here, it's such good stuff here. I mean, what a theater moment here. Maybe number one theater moment for me of all time. You mentioned on May, that's a pull that I didn't think they were going to make, but kind of shows you, you never totally quite sure here. Getting out from Molina back. Oh. Getting out from Molina back here. I like the concept too of what if we can save these people here? We know, what their outcome is, but what if we can change it here? Never thought we'd see William Dafoe again, of all people. It's not my favorite MCU movie of all time. I think there are some things with the directing and somehow some of the handles of the characters that I don't think is a perfect 10 out of 10. But damn, is it close? So yeah, I love this movie to pieces too, man.
Yeah, Diaz, what are your thoughts?
So let me get my small naked out of the way. I read that I used Lizard and Sam a little bit better than he did in the movie. And seeing both versions, I saw both the regular version and then I saw the attention when it came in. And I kind of wanted you the way it was. Will piss me off a little bit, way like. But I love everything out about the movie. I love both versions. I've seen the extended edition. You guys haven't seen it edition. Getting much away, the hysterical Andrew Garfield joke gets dead right before the. Had to. You could have stopped laughing in theaters. We were laughing so hard for about 5 minutes, and then we missed that line. About the red suit thing coming out of the body, a joke they add that makes it more funny. Like,
does it come out anywhere else?
I'm gonna James to get a couple of funny new lines. The interview he had with the construction worker at the electro scene is really hysterical moment in the extended edition. Like, but and the post credit scene, I love the post credit scene more in the extended edition. For those who haven't seen it, more like you see the photo album of everybody throughout the school trip, and Peter Parker no longer there in the photo. Like, it's blanked out, and it's more depressed ending to the movie. Like that post-credit scene.
And in general, too, I also want to give shout out to the ending itself. Like, an interesting kind of end where it's like, oh, where's this going to go? You know, very sad ending, too, where he goes to see them in the diner, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And that post-credit scene they added that make it more depressing.
I actually kind of hate it because I felt like it was a weird, like, come see this new footage, and it's very not necessary to a degree.
Jordan,
if it was in there to begin with, I just feel like it was a real teaser, like, we got new footage that doesn't change shit.
Yeah. Jordan, have you seen the post-credit scene on the new edition?
Yeah, I saw it online. I was like, thank God I didn't bother going to the theater just for that.
I saw it. I mean, it was the worst theater experience because my theater. I saw a natural theater day, and the audience was freaking annoying. Like, never. Like, but it was great still. Daredevil show up in the MCU. That moment,
great moment too, man.
Like, I remember me and maybe 5 other people applauded that moment. Everybody else didn't react at all.
You fools at Shirley Cox.
Yeah, that was good.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire amazing. Andrew Garfield gave his best acting performance in any Spider-Man movie in this movie. I think he talked about the effect Gwen Stacy death had on him, and he talked about not holding back punches anymore. Just like such amazing acting moment for him.
Yeah, you know, you're right, Chris, and I feel like that's something they would have explored in a trilogy, but the fact that they didn't, and he got to express that, it's like, wow, he had an after that, like, and it impacted him, and it really played off. And sorry to cut you off, I just want to say it really played off, because one of the other biggest pops that I heard in the theater was definitely when MJ fell, and then, you know, Tom Holland gets hit by the glider, and all of a sudden Andrew Garfield
has that moment. Yeah,
he was like, "Nah, not this time."
Correct. Yeah,
and even to the final detail of him like slingshotting and grabbing her with his arms instead of trying to, you know, swing the web. And then his facial. I mean, I cried because of his face. And she said, "Are you all right?" And he just, and I like, it was just one of those moments.
I will make a statement. Andrew Garfield is the best actor out of the three of them right now at all time at the moment. Like,
I feel like you're about to say something real more controversial, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were about to say
nothing
something
against Tom
really,
Holland, nothing against Andrew Garfield. It shows how much
Garfield's older and has had more time to, like, really. No, Garfield's a good actor just in general. I mean, they all are, I think, to a degree, but Garfield, and then I would actually give Holland a second. Sorry, Toby.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, seriously, great stuff. And I do want to bring up another point, and I didn't think about this until we were talking about it. I thought that it was a very nice touch that this movie centered around Doctor Strange wanting to just send them to their deaths. And in Spider-Man, he was saying no, and that came from not just him, but from Aunt May. And the whole, like, mentality of, we don't want to do that. We want to save everyone. It doesn't matter if they're villains. That right there went all the way to the beginning of Multiverse of Madness with Defender Strange and the grand calculus of the multiverse. Your sacrifice means everything. All the way to 616 Strange saving America because he experienced that moment with Spider-Man and him trying to save everybody and being able to save everybody. I feel like that is one of the biggest connecting points for the character development of Doctor Strange in the MCU. And that was his two main appearances was in Spider-Man and in Multiverse of Madness. And for him to take that journey, I feel like if he didn't experience that with Spider-Man and the whole No Way Home experience that he had, I feel that he might not have had the same mentality at the end of Multiverse of Madness when he looked at with his zombie face and he looked at America and she said, "It's okay." And he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." I think that was a really good full circle moment for Doctor Strange and his character development throughout those two films.
I do feel sorry for Norman, like, even though he might change, kind of going back to when he died, get hit by the glider.
I'm hoping that
I'm back. I feel better. Oh shit!
There was a theory that if you watch Spider-Man 2, it could have like connected when he got back because he just all of a sudden clicked and he's like, "Oh, I'm better now."
Yeah.
Like that could be the case.
No, I will fight you tooth and nail on that. You and everyone who thinks that's the truth is high. If you think the people who made that in 2002, 2003 were like, listen, in 20-something years, there's going to be a third Spider-Man.
What I mean is maybe...
I want to know how...
It was a hindsight thing.
I want to know how Sandman and Lizard got killed by Spider-Man. They suddenly died. Well, like,
yeah, that's not totally explained. Like, why is it? Yeah, Electro and Goblin are
why not?
They're explained like before their death, but like Lizard and Sandman sure as shit is alive, isn't he at the end of it 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm not. Sure and why was he? And I'm guessing it was just because they didn't want like Tom Hayden Church wasn't available. Why is he constantly Sandman in that movie except for the very end?
And why not like
he's always
add the whole daughter thing more into it as well? Because
hi, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
Alan, you came in just in time for our number 1 pick. We went through the whole MCU.
Guess what? What a shocker! We think No Way Home's a good movie.
Yeah, it's
hot takes here.
And you know what, JPO, you really said it. You said that. I mean, like, it's kind of unfair.
It is, man. It's like saying, like, hey, do you think Infinity War or Iron Man 2 is better? It's like Infinity War is so much more going for it. You know what I mean? Where it's almost like unfair to even judge. I picked a bad movie in Iron Man 2, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 was way lower than.
Well, that's why I'm just saying, like, it's almost unfair to judge like No Way Home against like these others because like Shang-Chi, maybe like if we were debating, I could maybe try to spin why Shang-Chi is better because it doesn't have anything to build off of, and we still loved it. Spider-Man is building off of legacy and what we already know and love.
I would say the one advantage Shang-Chi have over Spider-Man, they don't waste any of the character. I think Lizard and Sandman get wasted in this movie a little bit.
Yeah, they're there to just kind of be there and fill it out, more cameos. Yeah.
Hey,
I agree with
Alan
that.
Loves Iron Man 2. And Alan, hey man, sorry I didn't message you personally. I tried to get as many people on, but hey, Wednesday nights, late night, if you're free. Next week, we're going to do Phase 4, the Disney Plus shows, and we're going to rank them. Again, I'll rank them on my scale. You guys rank them on whatever scale you want to. We'll contrast, we'll compare. If you guys are both welcome back too. It's up to you. It's going to be right after.
TV show probably not, but I'm down in the future if you got other rankings.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna do this weekly. This is really fun for me. I enjoy it a lot. There will be Lights Out trivia next week, so it will be after Lights Out trivia. It's gonna be a double header. I'll have everything ready. But yeah,
when is my next match, JV3?
I hope Phase 5 is better than Phase 4 by the end of Phase 5.
Exactly. I want my title. Give me my title.
Yeah, it's at the end of the month, but yeah, you're definitely. Yep, you got Steve, and you got Richie. Richie, man, what a performance! What a performance last week Richie had. He really, it was really close. Turner was really in there, but Richie finally beat Turner. That was
Richie beat Turner.
Yeah, it was a big moment. It was great. It's like after 4,672 matches between the two, so Richie finally got one of the wins in. But yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home, absolutely incredible film, uh, unbelievable. Like no surprise there. In fact, it goes to show you that how good Shang-Chi is for being right up there with it and it being
Yeah.
just the origin story. And I'm right there with you, JPL. I did not know her. I didn't know anything about Shang-Chi
Nah,
before
he's
I
not
came in
someone I
and watched the
know.
movie. And I might even just go watch Shang-Chi. I watched it today. I watched it.
It's been longer for me.
No.
I probably could do Shang-Chi tonight.
It's been like a week ago. I could probably watch any of those two movies. I could totally watch again. But
Anytime somebody says they never saw Shang-Chi, like, okay, we're sitting down on the couch and watching Shang-Chi. Like,
yeah, you should watch it.
yeah.
Anybody
I-
if you haven't watched Shang-Chi, watch that movie. You won't regret it.
I think Shang-Chi the most out of Phase 4 so far because I started trying to see it then I saw it again with my buddy.
So what? We don't look good, Alan? You dick.
I think you guys look great. I don't know. I think Alan looks great too. Yeah. And Alan and Alan. I've been seeing him. I see you with the show reviewing stuff. I don't ever know what you're reviewing. It's always through a scroll. I'm always scrolling in my phone, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, Alan," and then it's gone. But yeah, maybe
you guys had
a little bit next week if you come on. But yeah, Alan, you're welcome. Anybody's welcome to be.
I mean, we kind of talk about Phase 4, but I have to ask, you guys think MCU is going to get better from here? Because I really worry about Phase 5 right now.
Nope, because Ant-Man's right in that mid category, so not exactly up to a hot start.
Hey,
again, I like it, but right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being like my third, fourth, or fifth.
Yeah.
I'll say this right now: Ant-Man: Quantumanium is my absolute favorite Phase 5 movie that I've seen.
I agree. Let's rank them real quick. Done.
I mean, I hoping for Gun in the Galaxy to be great because James Gunn.
Yeah, that's got some expectations, boy. So yeah.
Yeah, there's oh my goodness, good times. But guys, check me out. Check us out next week. Next week we're gonna have the final match. The final match in the four. Be one of the competitors. It's going to be good to have you. Hopefully your connections is a tad bit better for that match than it was for this. But thank you guys for being here. JPO, one of the first. He won the very first Lights Out match in history. Lights Out Trivia. Yes, it was a fun time. And then right after that, we're going to be ranking MCU Phase 4 Disney Plus shows. I will say this hot take: What If is not going to be ranked. It's going to be up in a corner. I'm going to keep it there safe, and I'm just going to let it sit there and stir everything up, and I'm just going to leave it out of the rankings because I have reasons. But other than that, there's 8 more that we can do, and that's going to be fun. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Alan, for watching live for the little bit. Anybody who watches this, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe and share and watch Lights Out Trivia, watch Wrestling with Trivia, watch a show about trivia. Look Alan up on Facebook, and he got his show that I apologize. I don't know what it's called. I think he reviews stuff.
Him and Costello review stuff?
Yeah, I think just know it's a review, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. But thank you for watching. You guys have a wonderful night. And if you can't do any of these things, please love everyone and have a great day.